Hi, I'm Adrian Amos from Synergy Technical, and we're back for another look at this Surface Go 2 device. This comes from the Surface for Business product line, and I mentioned in my Windows 365 from Anywhere video the other day that I've been using this a lot for Teams meetings recently. In fact, specifically, that I've been using it through Windows 365 to connect to Teams meetings. But I really wanted to dig in a little bit and share why I'm so excited about the actual device itself. Now, technically, Microsoft refers to this as a tablet, and it comes from the mothership without the type cover. So, out of the box, I would agree with them. But add the magnetically attached type cover, flip out the kickstand, and I'd argue you have a PC every bit as capable as my older HP Spectre, which I've already said I didn't really need to replace. In fact, the only real reason why I needed to replace it was because of the number of VMs that I was running in my Hyper-V environment on this machine. And with all of that work now offloaded to Windows 365, I'm really back to attending meetings, answering email, and configuring cloud services. Tasks that don't really need a lot of local compute and horsepower. And with all of my data stored in the cloud too, the storage in newer notebook PCs just isn't really relevant. So let's talk about what does matter.
These are the devices in my lab. I have the Lenovo IdeaPad 3 running Chrome OS. I have the Surface Go 2, and I have my two HP Spectres. Since the only thing relevant about the Chromebook is that it's different and costs less, we'll focus on the Windows devices. All of the units support Windows Hello with IR front-facing cameras. All have multi-point touchscreens, USB-C ports, micro SD slots, pen support, and all will run Windows 11 with no problem. And while the newer Spectre boasts a bigger, faster processor, more RAM, the largest SSD, and the highest native resolution of the bunch, it's also twice the size and weight. To really show what that means in context, I stacked all the devices up, charitably including the Chromebook. The Surface Go 2 is so much smaller than the rest, in fact, that you'd have to lay its keyboard completely wide open to equal the footprint of the newer Spectre. It's also demonstrably thinner, even with the type cover installed. So much so that all but one of my USB-C dongles is taller than the Surface Go 2. Now, obviously, that's not unreasonable for a device that purports itself to be a tablet, but hey, both of the Spectres can run in tablet mode too, if you have big enough hands to justify trying. And the Spectres don't really ever feel natural as tablets. From the sharp corners to the odd bezel gaps when they're folded flat, to the weird feeling of the keyboard mushing under your hand, to the fact that they both look incredibly awkward when they're propped up, they're clearly only backfilling a role for which they were never really designed. The older model comes closest, and I do use it as a companion device with OneNote, but it highlights the challenges of the entire Ultrabook class of machines that are so near and dear to my heart. They're only kinda good. The Surface Go 2, though, succeeds where it doesn't actually try. It's a great Ultrabook because it's an incredible tablet, and it packs well, too.
When I'm traveling for work, I like to carry only what I need for the day. Before the pandemic, that meant tossing the older Spectre into a backpack and forgetting about it. It fit in just about anything, including the light day pack with room left over for lunch and a little conference swag. I got the newer Spectre this year, and while it hasn't really mattered for business travel, it doesn't even come close to fitting in the day pack. The Surface Go 2, though, you almost can't even tell that it's in there. And that opens up new opportunities for my commute, too. On the motorcycle, I've been stuck either carrying this great big huge heavy tail bag, which covers half the back of the bike, takes forever to put on and take back off, and doesn't port very well when I have to go into a corporate meeting, or I have to carry this nice big heavy backpack here too. Now this is a little bit easier, but anytime you're ever wearing armor and trying to put these things on or off, the padding and the things always get stuck on each other, and it's just not a lot of fun, right? So anything that I can do to make it easier to get to work on the motorcycle is going to be a great thing. And again, this backpack, though it's not technically a tank bag, opens up the option that I could actually carry the Surface Go in front of me. And that really makes it easier to use the motorcycle. And when it's time to give up the motor but stay on two wheels, somehow the story even gets more compelling. Because while this has been my actual real preferred way to get around for several years, and I've been using this specific bag in this specific configuration for probably about 4 years now, the fact is that this laptop always required the side to be down, and that kind of messes up the weight of things. And that was okay, I got used to it. But this thing barely even fits in the bag, and it weighs twice as much as the old HP, which is crazy. So some of the hills I have to climb on the way to work were a challenge before, but they're fantastic training with this. But I gotta tell you, Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that there would be a day where I could roll this thing up and carry my whole laptop in the top bag. This is crazy. I'm gonna go play a little bit. Does that mean I want to drop all my hardware and run exclusively from either an overpowered tablet or an older PC? No, but with my primary workloads running either cloud native or installed on Windows 365, I have the flexibility to be more machine agnostic and pick the device that suits my style. And I love a good Ultrabook.